G'day folks, Everyday Zwifter here. Today we're doing the 3R Innsbruckring flat race 2 laps featuring the Legsnapper. Now this is the race I promised in my last post, and I have discovered a new strategy that one of the other riders demonstrated in the last race. With that in mind, let's hope I can, 1, get in the lead group, and 2, stick with them, and 3, not blow up. And we are off, and it is a wild start. There are people coming from left, right and centre, and there's got to be 60 riders or so out there now, if not more. And the front is very quickly getting away from me, and I think, oh, hang on, have a look, there's gaps there. Time to up the watts and make sure we don't get left too far behind. Looking in the leaderboard on the side, I can see there's a few C's around, there's a few C's in front. So we'll just keep going and see if we can climb our way up a little bit. I notice now that some of the C's are climbing further forward. I don't like going much over 4 watt a kilo at the start, otherwise I tend to burn out later in the race. So even though there's a gap forming now, which I could jump over and join in with the C's in that group, I'm just going to maintain my power and see if it'll close down itself, or if I fall back to a second group, then so be it. It is a 2-lap race, and there's plenty of time for them to also burn up, blow up, and for me to catch up if I'm keeping my legs in good shape. So I've eased back now, closer to FTP, around 200 watts for me, and 2 other riders with me, so we're not really big enough to make a difference. So now we're just holding to see if the group behind, not knowing how big they are, will come up to us. Looking at the mini-map, you can see there is quite a blob of C's and D's behind us, and they are closing in, only 1 second behind now, and we're still doing 3 watts a kilo on average, so that's good. That means they're making good speed, good time. And here they are, although they are a fairly strung out group. They must have been trying hard to catch up to us. So now we blend in, we'll just pick up the pace a little bit. I find these races where the A's, B's, C's and D's are all in together quite confusing at the start, because it's really hard to know where the rest of your category goes. Never mind, we're all in different jerseys, so you really have to be on it at the start if you want to be at the front. One guy there on a time trial bike, so he's not getting any draft, but he has got a very aero bike, so he's powering along on the flats. He's going to have a bit of a penalty on the Legsnapper though. Bit of a stretch out there as some people try and catch up to him. Dropped a couple of the D's already. It's still a good sized group. They'll be able to move at decent speed. As you saw in my last post, a rider there gave me a clue of how to approach the Legsnapper, and that is just to increase your speed just before you hit the steepest part. So you might get in the lead, and 2, you're carrying extra speed that people have to then catch up on the steeper part of the climb. Not a lot of aero wheels on those bikes by the look of it. Some have gone for the more climbing frames. Getting close to the Legsnapper now. Nearly at the end of the cobbles. Just drifting to the back as we prepare to make our assault on the bottom of the hill. As we come around here and go over a bridge, there's a slight up and then a slight down, which I've just caught in my eye on the mini-map. Saved it in the memory banks for next time. Now, before we hit the 8%, hit the gas. Just like I saw MP do in our last race that I put up. And lo and behold, I'm off the front of the group. And I'm not going crazy doing 6 watt a kilo or anything like that. Just going to sit on a reasonably comfortable 4 to 4.5 watts a kilo and see where that gets me. So far so good. Holding a good gap on some of the riders. Only a couple less than a second and the rest are drifting backwards. And potentially we're catching up to some C riders in front who haven't been able to hold on to that first group. Cummings has made a surge up the hill to join me, so I'll make sure he doesn't get away and just see if we can descend on the other side with him and attack B. Or is it attack B? And FCAT 6. And the time trial at 10 brink. Looks like we're going to form a posse coming down the other side. It's always beneficial to be in a group, especially if we can form a group of 5 to make an official blob, which gives you drafting benefits and speed benefits. Although Cummings better lift his watts if he wants to stay with us because we zoom past him. So Phillips, he was so close coming over the top. He's only 2 seconds now, but 43 metres. And we've got our group of 5 and he's only 1. So we're going to skip away from him and start picking up the riders in front. At this stage, the legs are feeling a little heavy. The heart rate's good, so not a problem there. Just have to manage the legs. I think at some point in this first lap they're starting to feel a little bit crampy, as they did in my last race, so there's something I have to look into there. We've picked up another rider, so now we're a group of 6. See if we can hang on to our time trialer in front. Just about to pick up 2 more riders now. Barnes and Potter, who have been away for the first lap. And then a 3rd rider, actually a 4th, including Serge we picked up before. So that makes a sizable group now. If I really wanted to keep track of where all the riders were, I should have Swift Power open on another screen. Switch onto the live tab, then you'd be able to see where each person and each category were on the course. It's a bit, updates every 30 seconds, so it's not perfect, but gives you a great idea. So coming towards the end of lap 1, and this is a no power up race, so there's no assistance at all. Get a few XP, but no draft, no aero, no feather, importantly for the leg snapper. So this is the way it stays for the rest of the flats, and then we ride on trying to catch up with our time trialer until we get to the leg snapper. Mostly smooth riding, stick pretty much as a group. Actually one D rider who's managed to keep up. Must have some good watts in his legs. And doesn't mean he's not a D rider, just has some good watts for the flats. There's one point up here where a little gap appears and we get stretched out a little bit. And I jump across just here. And a couple behind have to put in 5 watt a kilo just to close it down as well. Not long now and we will be back at the leg snapper. And last time we went through, I saw that negative 2% gradient just over the bridge. So I'm going to use that this time as my launch to go up. Just start my power off a little earlier, try and get a little more speed. See what that does. Here we go. Coming up the bridge, going down minus 2%, ramp up. But again, it's been a successful strategy, just pumped it up to 5 watt a kilo. Barnes has come over, he's cranking it at 5.4 watts a kilogram. I just put mine up to 5 for a little bit just to grab his wheel. Quickly catching up to our time trials, who doesn't have the same power as he did the last time going up. And got the heavy bike. Matt catches up briefly and then he drops back. And then we pick up another C rider who's been off the front of us. With a curious name, the Watts brothers. If he's got some watts in those legs, he'll be a good rider to have in the group if he catches on. So I just kept the power going over the hill, make sure we get some speed going down, able to do a quick super tuck. Barnes is with me. And then 2 others come flying past and I quickly ramp it up to 6 watt a kilo just to get into them, because I've been here before where I haven't been able to latch on and Barnes hasn't been as quick on the pedals. And we've actually dropped him out of the draft. He's at 13, 14, 15 and we've actually dropped him. So now it's the 3 of us and we're riding off to the finish. It's unlikely Barnes will be able to close this gap on his own. There's another bunch of riders only 4 seconds behind him though, so if he drops back to them, they will be a bigger group than us and may be able to have an impact. Again, not going crazy on the leg snapper. I've still got something to give. Able to keep up with these boys who, judging by what they've been able to do, have plenty of watts in their legs. Especially if your nickname is the Watts brothers, eh? Group behind setting new records for the sprint section, so that means they're on the gas. They're only 5 seconds behind. If they can work together as a group, they will have some chance of catching back up for a sprint finish, but they're going to have to be quick and work together well. One and a half kilometres to go as we cross the river. I'm a bit wary of the people in the group behind. Artac B seems pretty aggressive and be able to crank it up, and Matt Hall, he was quick off at the start of the race as well, and someone else I'm wary of. So I'm going to go to the front for a little bit and just try and push us as a group along so we stay clear. Been very happy with the race so far, apart from not sticking with the lead group at the start. I was able to go up the Legsnapper the first time and we formed a new group. And then we picked up the riders around towards the start of the second lap. And then the second Legsnapper was able to drop a lot of those riders apart from 4 and pick up another 1. And then we dropped Barnes on that little rise after the Legsnapper. And I was able to tack onto these two, so amazing how well it has worked out and how sharp you have to be just to catch the moves. 600 metres to go. These boys are starting to put down some extra watts as we push to the finish. The group behind, we've managed to hold off at 5 seconds, though Matt Hall has really put the power down. He's up to 3 seconds on his own now, 30 metres. The boys at front starting to push off. 300 metres to go, it's just about time to sprint, and I've left a gap that's too big. And the Watt brothers have started sprinting and I've got, oh no, go, go. And I'm just going as hard as I can, which is only 500 watts today. It's 8 watt a kilo, but I'm just catching up. I've just got to push right to the line, and judging by that picture, like, nah, he's got me. But then the results come up and I've got him by 0.1 of a second. I couldn't believe it. That's the exact same margin as the last race when I sprinted over someone. So you can see there's a few C riders above me, 32nd, 29th, 28th. I got 33rd overall, but that doesn't tell me where I came in the C's. Another one at 24th, he seems to be the top C rider. I think there's 5 above me in that list. Scroll through pretty quickly. And C is filling down all the way to 40th. So there you go. That is the Innsbruckring flat race, 2 laps with the Legsnapper 2 times. Hope you enjoyed that race, hope you enjoyed that new strategy, and hope you're able to use it in a race that I'm not in to your success. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Happy Zwifting. Catch you later.